Pimp My Setup, episode number 218, recorded live on 420 Blaze It. I'm Matt Philly. Find me on Twitter at Matt Philly. And as always, we're joined by producer Tom.
What's up, players?
Yo, put your camera back on. You might be able to see it in the background.
You actually can't.
Just barely. We do have a dog there. He is eating a bone. You probably do hear it, but we have to keep him in here because, you know, stuff's going on in the house, so we can't have him barking and really messing things up. So he'll be done with that bone soon. Anyways, let's not waste any time and hop right into the first set of the day, submitted by Ollie, who is 16 years old. Now, Ollie likes blades and art, and his favorite color is green, and he also uses his setup for gaming and work. So, yeah, I mean, looking right at this, very simple setup, very straight to the point. I like it. Hey, he said he likes blades. What do we see there in the corner? Blades. He says he likes art. He's got this, like, Batman decal thing. So, yeah, let's say that's art. And he likes green, and we see that. So that's cool. I like what he did. Now, one thing I found very interesting is those are speakers, I'm pretty sure, shoved under the monitors, because that wouldn't be the stand, considering they're both different.
Yeah, it looks like dual stands or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks like it's double stand.
It's really interesting. If anyone knows what those are exactly, I'm pretty sure they're speakers. Let me know. They look like bulky as hell, but interesting nonetheless. I just think it's weird that he has like a separate desk in the back for the blades and then like a desk in front of that. And I think he should kind of push himself over to the right side a little bit, give himself a little bit more breathing room, you know what I mean? From like, look at where the keyboard is in relation to the edge of the desk. So, you know, just kind of push it over a little bit. Normally you have your keyboard centered between the monitors, and then you have the mouse a little further off to the side. But there's not a lot going on here. I think it's just sort of, you know, the bare necessities, if you will. So maybe a little bit more towards theme. I don't think you need to overdo it as that much. Just maybe utilize that desk space a little bit more with some little knickknacks or something like that. But it's pretty cool. And someone just said in the chat that he should mount the blades on the wall. That would be cool. I don't know if he has the room for it, though. Like, you know how Cameron in his room has the blades hooked up? Like, my brother does it. It looks really sick. But I think because of that way the angled ceiling is, it's not really going to work for him. But I do like it. I think it's really nice. It's just simple. You have to understand there's not a lot to say. And cable management, of course, is really nice. That's why I didn't hop right into, like, you know, talking crap about that. And also, yeah, the blue snowball, if you got like a $15 arm for that, would make a big difference for sure.
Yeah.
Next setup, though, submitted by Adriaan.
I just say Adriaan.
He put double A's, which triple A's technically, which really kind of confused me. But 13 years old, graphic designer. His YouTube channel is Adanix. So I would say Adanix Designs. And this setup is interesting because at first I was like, dude, putting your laptop and all, like, the tablet stand, all that right there is so stupid. Hi, Dexter. Like, why would you put it there? It kind of seems like weird, you know? It's like really close to you. It just seems out of place. And then I realized the chair was back there. And then because of that, I realized my dude's like sliding on through into like the tightest spot ever, just to use his laptop and tablet. That is not what that desk is really meant for. Hey, Dexter, come here. You want to just lay down? Yeah, good boy. This is great. Oh, you're so good. So yeah, that's just kind of like the initial thing I thought about was, I don't know if you get the same vibe, Tom. It looks weird having that like smushed right up against him.
Yeah, it seems like such a weird placement of the desk. Is it two desks? Yeah, it is.
Well, no, it's that the one IKEA desk where the piece pulls out from.
Yeah, okay. So, okay, yeah, that's very weird. I don't know.
Yeah, not a big fan of that. And I think it makes the desk look a lot more cluttered than it really is. Plus, it just looks like really, really tight, you know, sitting in that area. I'm not a huge fan of that. But if I was to forget about that, it's okay, buddy. I know you're all overexcited. If you had a seat, I would put you on the show right now. You could host with us. Yeah. So I think as far as the actual... First off, you have to make the peripherals look nice for the photo, at least. That just looks really half-assed, if you will. It would make it look a lot nicer if you were to clean that up. And then all the excess cables underneath the actual Alex riser, that doesn't look appealing either. And then, you know, the speakers, I feel like, yeah, they're good, but you should maybe put them closer to the monitor and put like the plant and all that stuff on the outer side of it. It would look pretty good. So I think it's a simple setup. Obviously, we're not seeing anything for theme. You have a lot of blank wall space, which is a good thing because you can at least put a little bit of yourself on the wall and not overdo the setup with stuff. Like, yeah, you have the little things to the left speaker, but I don't really think that tells me a story.
Like little busts.
Yeah, little busts.
It's tough to say that word.
Yeah, he's got a thing with an A.
That's cool.
It's like an empty light bulb kind of thing. And then, yeah, you know, you need drawers for like all the little remotes and things like that. Not bad, though. It's just...
very simple, very plain.
Yeah, back-to-back, plain and simple. And then, you know, the cable management, I mean, yeah, it's built into the desk. So, and I like what you did for the subwoofer, though. I'll give you props for that. Next setup, though, something a little bit more to talk about. Submitted by Damon, who's 25. This was his setup when he was on episode 203. Now, a few things before we look at the new photo. He's currently waiting on his LED strips and speakers, which is something, obviously, since it wasn't there at the time, speakers was something I still critiqued on. But you know, before we look at it, he did clean up the bookshelf. So kind of take a mental snapshot here, looking at the bookshelves, the cable management. Just keep that in mind. But now let's look at the next photo. Ba-bam! So yeah, the bookshelves, although they're still packed up, they're way better. Dexter, it's okay. Go lay down. Lay down.
Lay down.
Sorry, guys. But yeah, so I think the bookshelves completely fixed in my opinion. I know some people are still going to say it's just way too much, but that's personal opinion. And he's got a lot to show off. And I like that the books are all colorful. They really kind of add a pop of, you know, saturation to the setup, which is good. And yeah, compared to the last time, you could see like there's a lot of excess, a lot of books laying down. It doesn't look as neat as it could. And, you know, in his original photos before that, which I didn't include, they were a lot nicer. So I told him to do that, and it looks just so nice. So I like that. Now, he was in the military, or Marines. Yeah, I think the Marines. So he has a lot to show for that, which is awesome. I think definitely you should be showing stuff like that off, because that was his life for a long time. Really, really awesome. Now, what's cool is that sword that we're seeing, which wasn't there before, I don't think, is his NCO sword from the Marine Corps. That's badass.
That's super badass.
Now that should be hung up on the wall rather than just kind of like laying there, because it looks a little out of place. So I think if that was to be mounted like directly above the monitor going sideways, wouldn't that look badass?
Yeah, I wonder where he placed the rest of his stuff that's on the wall.
I know, yeah. It's difficult because he really has a lot. Like he has the board underneath with all his different patches and stuff, which is actually pretty funny because he could use it for cable management. If you go to the third photo, you know, yeah, we see at least the cables going to the computer are managed, and then that one random cable, but it does play to his benefit. Personally, and I'll say this again probably 100 times while critiquing the setup, as much as I love it and I think it's awesome, there's only so much he can really do with what he has in such a small spot. And I remember his situation, you know, doesn't have his own dedicated office, which would solve a lot of problems. But, you know, the desk is sick, but is it wide enough? Is it deep enough? Does he have enough wall real estate? No. It's really hard to work with. So if you have any advice on how he should display some of this stuff a little bit better, let us know in the comments. You know, again, you zoom into where the actual one speaker is right now. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. He said he's getting speakers. That's going to solve a lot of problems. You know, some of the cables just kind of coming out of the monitor there. Yeah, you know, not hard to fix, but, you know, just a little bit here and there. Like the controller, if that was in your drawer, that would look good. I do think it's better. I definitely do think it's better. I just think it comes down to a bigger space to kind of fix all the final problems. Not that they're really even problems, but hey, look at the top right. He's got that Beauty and the Beast stuff. That's I know a lot of people are like, Beauty and the Beast.
I love the last picture you have for his set, because he has his baby.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, he also just had his baby too. Thanks for ruining the surprise, Tom.
I was kind of bringing it up so that you would lead into.
Well, I have it on my notes, okay. But yeah. He had his baby. Congratulations. That's an adorable photo. I think it's like the first time we've ever put like a picture like this in the show.
Yeah. I don't think we've ever done that before.
Yeah, it's super cool though. I mean, the setup is great. It really is. I think all the problems you had last time you addressed. And if you haven't addressed, they're in the process of being, you know, adjusted, because you have like the speakers coming in, the LEDs, whatever. But until you move, there's not really much more you could do. So I like it. I think it did a great job, and I look forward to when you get a new space and you have all the room, because you can really fill up the walls. But now let's move on to the next setup, submitted by Johnny, who's 29, UI designer, loves art, music, and gaming, and he uses the setup for gaming and design work, which kind of goes with his actual interests. Go figure. And he just moved into a new apartment, so this is like fresh. fresh, hot off the press. And he also said that my channel inspired him. So that's really cool. I appreciate when people say that. This setup, man, as much as I love it, there are a few things that I just think could be adjusted to make it even better. And I don't know if you're going to get the same vibe that I get, but those lights, they're badass, right? But they're huge. They're so big.
Especially because he has the speakers off to each side of them.
That's what I was going to say. You could keep the lights there. I don't think they're a problem, but swap it with the speakers, right? Put the speakers in closer to the monitor and then the lights on the outer side, especially because you have a salt lamp right there. And it's just like, whoa, like you turn that stuff on and it's like straight from heaven, you know? So I think it's badass. I like especially the purple light in the back. The PC looks sick, amazing case. But I feel like the speakers kind of get left out, and it would just be nicer to have them brought in a little bit closer. Now, as far as everything else goes, now there are kind of like darker photos. We don't get like a full picture of what he's working with, but the third photo for cable management is well lit, and that's great. I mean, that's really all you need to do. It's off the ground, it's managed, nice. Works for me. But in the second photo, you kind of see how close those lights really are. And now the speakers are like further out. Now, obviously the speakers, it's not like it's a difference in sound. I just think aesthetically it would be nicer to do that. Also, as far as like the Yeti, maybe a better spot to keep the Yeti when it's not being used. But I would assume because of your cable management, you just keep it there because that's probably where you use it when it's on, you know, because it doesn't need to be right in front of your face. I like it though. I think it's simple. You know, the mini guitar is cool. Maybe a little bit more, I don't want to say theme because like he's got the music thing off to the side. Maybe some better use of the space above the monitor, possibly.
It's tough because I feel like you centered that poster above your monitor, and it's like how much space is there in between, you know,
that's
the
pretty
wall
good.
and the other wall. It's just kind of hard.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what to. I'm talking about replacing the poster above. I'm not really sure what would work. I would love to know what you guys think in the comments section, but I think as far as everything else, he did a great job. You know, where else would he put his tablet when he's not using it? I don't think that's a bad spot for it at all. And I like that he has it right there at all times. You know, if he needs to get to work with it, boom. I like it. I do think the one thing that's a little bit different is like the color theme. I guess he's going for colorful because I see like purple in the computer, purple behind the computer, but then he's got red for his mouse pad, red for his speakers. Then he's got like the yellow and orange lighting and then colorful RGB. So I think he's just going more for like a whatever he wants kind of color theme, which is cool. But yeah, I like it. I think it's a good setup. I definitely want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below though, because it's always good to give your feedback and help everyone out. So next setup submitted by Casey. Now he said he was on episode 200. He was. Okay. Episode 200.
With Dad.
Yeah. He said that he's really happy with the changes he made and he uses setup to edit videos and play games. And, his YouTube channel is called Bonus Toe, which I think is hilarious because I really wonder if you have an extra toe and that's like what happened. But, you know, really cool setup from what we're seeing, right? It looks nice. He's got interesting chair, which is one of the things he changed. But basically, what was a quick roundup of what you said? Like wire management?
The cables, the cables. I think we said something about the TV off in the left-hand corner, top left-hand corner. We were saying that the wire is just sitting out there and the TV is very small. So
yeah, little things. So
little things. It was nothing major.
But I mean, he got a fast pass and he's like, hey, I'm doing it. And he's back now. Here's his setup. Now, I'm going to assume the TV's still there, and he's just like, I'm going to take a closer photo so they don't say anything about it. But he changed, from what I can see, he changed his keyboard. The headphones are gone from underneath the left monitor. The cables are fixed. The headphone stands now added to the left side. Little things like that. New chair. And that was that. So, like, not a lot changed, but enough to constitute a new review, I suppose. So my first critique, now I didn't critique the setup at all. Like Tom said, I wasn't even here when this was done. So it already has a, what the hell? Don't scratch the door, Dexter. It's okay. Lay down. He's really upset right now. But I hate the setup because it's the Cowboys and the Cowgirls. You know, obviously they are awful. And last season they couldn't beat the Giants, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, aside from that, it's a great setup because you kept with the blue throughout the setup. It's a very interesting desk. Now, I do think the desk isn't great for you currently. And I think it's mainly because of that corner piece is just not comfortable. Your mouse pad is facing as if you were using the right side of the desk for your setup. Okay, nice. So if you see how the mouse pad is facing, right, it doesn't look like it's if he was to use it facing.
It's a very, very weird desk.
Yeah, so if it was as if he was using the right wall, you know, so that doesn't work. That's usability, not great. You know, the keyboard and all that, that's fine, but it just looks, you have no wrist support. As far as I'm concerned, I think when it comes to using a keyboard, you're actually supposed to be able to put your arms down, like you're at least from like a little bit under your wrist should be on the desk at least. I forget. I think there's something where it's like the middle of your arm needs to be laying down. I don't know the exact.
Like that, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because it's not good for your wrists. I mean, I'm gonna have
off the desk.
Yeah, I'm gonna have carpal tunnel anyway. But I mean, you're gonna have it way quicker than me, and you're younger. So that's something I would try to address. And I think that little shelf kind of hurts what you're going for because it takes away the depth of the desk. Regardless, it's not really a good corner desk. So that's something I would address, especially when you have speakers that damn big. Those are so big and they're so cool, but I think again, because of your desk, they're not really in the best spot. I mean, they're literally turned directly to your ears.
Yeah.
So you'd want to have something with a little more depth to it so you can kind of space them out and they're not like right on top of the monitor. So I like what you're working with, but I think the desk is really hurting you here. I think you did great with the cable management now. You did great with adding the headphone stand. I think theme you knocked out of the park. Really good stuff, but really I just think the desk is hurting you here. You know what you're doing, it's just the desk. And then the last thing is the placement of the PC. I don't know if you addressed that last time.
It was in a different... I remember it being in a different spot last time. I don't know if I was just being crazy or not, but I just remember it being in a different spot.
Yeah, regardless, maybe because it was blocked in the photo. But that's a terrible spot for your PC, especially when you're sitting in the corner, your feet, or at least your right foot, is going right up against it. Not a good spot. Definitely needs to go in a spot where it won't be in the way of your foot. I think that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Next setup submitted by Harry. He's 17. Uses it for schoolwork and gaming. This one, very straightforward. Not a lot to say. Second photo, cable management, great. You use the backboard. That's the secret sauce right there. You know, I love that you have the keyboard right there and you can pull it out. This is something I've talked about. Every time we see a keyboard in a setup, I always say you need to have it in a spot where it can go away and then come right back out, and like it's not an issue. Dexter, it's okay. It's okay. So I like that. I think that's definitely adds a lot to usability. I like where the speakers are at, especially since they're high up. I do think the monitor's maybe a little too high, but
yeah, it seems really high up.
Yeah, like really high. Like it's great for the speakers, like I said, but yeah, the monitor looks like it could be a little high up unless, you know, you have a really long neck or something like that. I like that the microphone could go in and out, you know, the interface and all that. Like really nice. You have a lot of open space too if you want to add more. I would say a mouse pad would definitely feel nicer, you know, to kind of add to aesthetically. And really, I think, you know, I'm not a huge fan of wallpapers, but I don't hate it here. I think my main thing is just the placement of the wall art, the posters and stuff. Maybe you could do something a little bit better to fix that. So like, you know, for instance, the one poster is not being covered by the monitor, blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, it's straightforward. You know, headphone stand, everything you possibly need is right there. Cable management's great. It's a good setup. It really is. I like it. But yeah, I just think really the posters kind of adding to that theme a little bit. And yeah, it's definitely a good setup. So next setup submitted by Jonas, who's 15. He said he's studying to be a jetliner pilot, which is cool. And he set it for work, gaming, and Netflix, and he likes minimalistic setups. Really, I couldn't tell. Again, this one, not a lot to say. Cable management, nice. I think maybe not using the adhesive little trap things right there would help. I know what you're trying to do, but since it's all black, it's really kind of an eyesore. So whether you can get a white version of that cable, I don't know if it's like an aux cable or it looks pretty thin. Get a white one and then get white cable traps. And plus you could just run it under the molding. You might not even need to use the adhesive. That's just what I would say. And then of course, you know, the cable to the bed, that's probably just like your phone charger. I don't think that really matters. The speakers, yeah, I definitely angle them towards you a little bit, you know. They're like, especially the right one looks like it's kind of going outwards. Everything else though, it's like really simple. You put everything in the right spot, it just works. It's very much a beginner kit. There's no life in it, and I get it. You don't want to put stuff up on the wall, but I mean on the desk. He says he doesn't like when things are overcrowded on the desk, which doesn't need to be. I just think I don't hate minimalistic setups, but theme is a category on here, and I do think that there is no theme here. Even for black and white, I don't think he finished the picture. Put a canvas up above that's black and white. That boom, that's more. That adds a lot to the setup, especially for someone that likes minimalistic. The keyboard, I think, is not minimalistic, having like all those colors and stuff.
You would think it'd be like white or something like that.
Yeah, just something with like the LEDs a little more muted, maybe. I don't know. I'm nitpicking because what do you really say about a setup like this?
Yeah, no, it's pretty tough. If you don't want to add color, I understand, but it's tough with it just doesn't look special at all. It's very plain. It's like, I wouldn't want this as my setup. I like color in my setup.
Yeah, it's like he just unboxed everything, put it down, and that's it.
Yeah.
Not to take away from cable management and all that. Like it's great, but you have to understand where we're coming from with that. Next setup submitted by Liam. He's 12. This is the final setup of the day. Now, Liam said that he uses he uses setup for PC gaming and recording videos for his YouTube channel. If you want to check it out, it's Mojotopia Gaming. All right, go look it up, send them some love, and let them know that, came from the Flamingo Squad, right? His setup is powered by his MSI laptop. He loves Minecraft. He loves Overwatch, and he's also thinking of painting his walls white. Now, this is the thing, right? The setup, at first glance, I thought, that's like interesting. I think the first photo, the layout of everything, very interesting and different, and I like different. But there's definitely a few critiques that I have that can make the setup 100 times better. Now, the first thing that scares me is the laptop does look like it is hanging off the desk. The desk ends and the computer still goes, So the first thing is to secure that. Make sure it's nice and safe. Now, I don't know if you're completely utilizing that screen at all times when gaming, but I think if you're not, some sort of docking station would be nice. So you could still unplug it, take it on the go, but when it's here at the setup, it's not hanging off the side of the desk. Now, if you were to do that, that would free up a little bit more space because you could actually put it on the shelf to the left. Let's see, I'm trying to swipe to the next photo. Come on. Okay. Now that I see how it looks closer in the other photo.
It does.
Huh. If you had like an under desk spot or something like that to put the laptop, that would help because then you could put the Yeti in a better position. You could spread out the speakers, and then actually, since those canvas posters are already there and framed, I'd put them up on the wall. I think what you're trying to do is unique, but it would help make the setup look a lot more clean if you're able to put those up. You can get more Overwatch pop vinyls, put it alongside of the monitor, space out the speakers like I said. I think the tablet stand's really cool and unique. I don't have a problem with that there. That one light I think is in a weird spot next to the pug, which is also weird and in a weird spot.
With a crown too, what the hell?
Yeah, so like that's something I'd probably get rid of, but I like the LEDs behind. I understand that maybe having the posters there was to kind of cover the actual LEDs themselves, but definitely hang those up, frame the Mercy poster above, frame the Overwatch poster to the side, and get a longer mouse pad because that's not really the right mouse pad for what you're looking to do. That's more for like the 10 keyless. But I think in terms of everything you have, really, really, really nice. Usability is probably great. And you have really cool theme up on the wall to the left. I really like that. Definitely keep adding to that. The shelf is really nice and neat. I like it a lot. Cable management is where you kind of lost a lot of points because there's not much done to it. Zip ties, yeah, but they're drooping down. Just kind of try to adhere it to the desk. I think that's like a frosted glass, which actually is great for LEDs. If you were to buy an extra set of LEDs and just kind of put it along the bottom, it should kind of like just shine through a little bit, which I think would be cool. But yeah, you could just use some adhesive, kind of like the guy was using in the last setup along his molding. You can use that to keep the cables up. It'll definitely make a difference. But it's not bad at all. It really isn't. For a 12, I mean, this is like a super sick setup. The last photo, I'm not exactly sure what it's used for, but that's really cool. I mean, damn, that's a lot of money in this setup for sure. Yeah. But I mean, for 12, man, not bad at all. Definitely just, do the critiques I said. Even if you want to keep the laptop out, just maybe get something to kind of put it on like a riser perhaps, and then come up with, you can always buy the mic arm for the Yeti so it's not just sitting there. A headphone stand under the desk would be nice, little things here and there, and you take all these little things, you put them towards the setup. Next thing you know, your setups can have like a 95, 96. So I really like it. I think it's great. And as far as painting the walls white, yeah, I'd probably do that, honestly, because I don't think there's a need for green. But anyways, time for the scores. Ali walked away with a 76. Adriaan got a 66. Damon with an 88. Johnny with an 88. KC with an 88. Jonas with an 80. I mean, Harry with an 88. Jonas with an 80. And Liam with an 80. Originally, it was kind of just like a coincidence that it was 88 and then 88. And then I was like, 88. But yeah, I think it's really up to you guys in the chat. Who do you think wins today? They're all very different setups. Like, very different. So definitely let us know in the comment section down below. But that's it for this episode of Pimp My Setup, episode number 218, recorded live on 420 Blaze It.
You've been smoking?
Dude, I smoke all the time. No, I don't smoke. I think smoking is disgusting. But it's up to you. If you like to smoke weed, go for it. Tom is a weedaholic. Not
Vape Nation.
Yeah, Vape Nation. Thomas Philly. That's his Twitter. I'm at Matt Philly. We'll see you on Sunday.